West Point is unique, and really what makes it unique is we focus on one primary thing. The mission of the academy is to develop leaders of character. We have 4 pillars, of course: academics, your education, physical, your rugby. We're unique in that we're a military academy, and I'll talk about that later. But what weaves them all together is we focus on leadership development and character development. And this is really the true takeaway of what the academy is about. And for me, what makes it so valuable to our country and to the people who go there. I think all great things in the world are achieved through teams, and the one key ingredient to all teams being successful is leadership. And I also think character. When you think about a person you admire, a person you respect, um, the word that comes to mind for most of us would be the high character person, right? Character is a key ingredient for individuals having long-term sustained success. So that is really at the core of what's unique about the academy. And I'm going to break down some of those pillars that underpin that right now, starting with our rugby team. Our rugby team, what we aim to achieve is threefold. We want to develop the best team in the country, the best cadets in the Corps, that's the United States Corps cadets, the West Point cadets, and the best leaders in our country. So those are the stars at the top, the things that we keep aligning and working towards. But what we focus on doing here on a day in, day out basis is building a culture of excellence. And for us, that's gradually getting better all the time at what we do. And to drive that culture, we really focus on 3 core values: trust, doing the right thing on and off the field; commitment, being the best we can be. And really, we talk about changing our best all the time; and love, caring about the team and our teammates as much as ourselves, or what we call putting the we over the me. And so for us, when we get those values right, we think we get as close to the best culture we can build. We climb as fast as possible, and we work towards those goals. Again, being the best team and teammates on the field, being the best cadets and people off the field, so that when we leave West Point, we are going to be the best leaders and people that we can be. So it's about rugby, but it's about what we develop through rugby. In terms of the program, we're one of the few varsity programs in the country, really NCAA Division I school varsity programs. And that means all the bells and whistles. So professional coaching support, facilities in the background there, you can see play the best competition, all the performance support staff like medical, strength and conditioning, academic support, sports psychology support, and a big one, which is admission support, which I'll get to towards the end. In terms of the facility, it's quite amazing. I'm not going to share this video as well, but you can go see it. And again, it's in the background. But Anderson Rugby Complex, built in 2007, if not the best, one of the best rugby facilities in the country. And the facilities overall here are amazing, as you see in that slide, number 1 by Princeton Review in the country. And we got access to those weight rooms and all those things. As I mentioned, we try and play the best competition in the country. We play in Rugby East, which is arguably top 1, 2, 3 toughest conferences in the country. A lot of the same types of teams, varsity or varsity club model. We play the Commander-in-Chief, so our fellow academies, Navy and Air Force, every year. We were the one college rugby game that played this fall against Navy, a big win for us on the road. We always go on a spring tour to play some of the best teams in the country. As you see in that picture, Cal, BYU, we went to England 2 years ago for a week, played Oxford and Sandhurst. We played in the D1A national playoffs, and we're looking to get involved in the NCRO sevens, and our conference is with NCRO. So we're involved with both of those entities. And right now, listen, what we do every year is we try to build the toughest schedule in the country. We want to be the best team in the country. We got to play the best in the country, and that's what we aim to do every year. In terms of coaching,
I'm going to reclaim just for one moment. You can keep talking.
Yeah. Sure. In terms of coaching, I'm biased, of course, but I would put our coaching staff up against anyone in the country. I really think you're going to get coached well here. You're going to get the opportunity to become the best you can be. My background, I was a collegiate All-American and national champion at Cal, and then played in a World Cup, and then coached the U.S. in a World Cup. Kyle Sumption with the ball in hand there, another U.S. veteran, BYU national champion. We have, I think, 11 or 12 championships between us at the collegiate level, coaching and playing. And then Phil Torigno was doing the U20 Rugby New York program. By the way, Kyle's still a professional with Rugby New York. And Phil has run teams himself, been a head coach at Texas Tech, and been involved with Forum. So just really can't say enough about these guys we get to coach with, and I think they're going to give you a great opportunity to be successful. Is my screen still being shared there, Pat?
Yes, you're up now.
All right. I guess I will share. Well, I don't think I have time for it. No, I'm not going to share the video. But again, I'll share my signature with more links to videos. But this Brothers 15 video has gotten a lot of traction. It's from 2016. But really what I'll just say about it is this is the closest team I've ever been on. I think we all know from rugby, it's a unique culture. You get closer. And I think that's partly because rugby is not for everybody. It's challenging. Tell 10 people about it walking down the street who don't know it. 9 of them are running the other direction going, I still don't want to know about rugby. West Point's kind of the same way. It's challenging, right? And so when our guys go through rugby together and West Point together, there's a brotherhood like no other I've ever seen. Just guys that will be best friends for the rest of their life, no doubt about it. And it's a real special group. I encourage you to go watch this video. It's like I said, it's online. But I want to get to the other pillars while I still have a few minutes left. First, with academics, as I said, character and leadership underpin, the West Point experience, but we are a very good educational institution. #1 public school in the country by U.S. News and World Report. I think that was 2019. Not sure if they got a 20 COVID edition done. We have 40 majors, and we're in the top 5 nationally in all our engineering programs. For a long time, we were just an engineering school serving the Army, but we have a full breadth of majors now. #1 class size and accessibility. This is massive. Our professors essentially live on post here and are service oriented. They're here to help, and you really are going to get attention here. You're going to build relationships with these people. And I'd say this, I think there's a lot of fear around West Point because obviously it's associated with tough, but it's tough love to the extreme. Yes, everyone's going to push you hard to be the best you can be, but as long as you're willing to work, everyone's going to love you as well. They got your back and they're going to see you through. And there's just amazing stories of people calling math professors on a Saturday night saying, I'm not prepared for this test Monday, and then saying, I'll be down there in 10 minutes. You get that kind of support as long as you want to work. We practice the Thayer model, which is unique. Not what I would have thought when I came to West Point. I'm a civilian myself. I would have thought it's, hey, bring a notepad and write down what I say. And the Thayer model is the opposite. It's read before class, and we're just going to talk and discuss. And that's because they don't want to. They're not building followers here. They're building leaders, people who can think critically and make decisions. So I think that's pretty unique. And then the cost is zero. So you actually pay zero in tuition. It's paid for. You actually get paid while you're here, a stipend, and that's in exchange for your service to our country. I'll talk about that here on the next slide. So on the military piece, it's what we call the 47-month journey. I'm going to go real quick here because I'm running out of time here. But essentially, you do all, Pat, what do I got to tell? 720 or 715?
720.
Oh, okay. I can slow down a little bit. While you're in school, you really focus on your academics and rugby. And most of your military training is done during the summer. So you see this 47-month journey. You come in your first summer for R Day, report day, and you do your first summer training. Again, during the school year, it's mostly academics and rugby. You are organized in what's called the U.S. Corps of Cadets. So you're kind of your living situation is with your company instead of your, it would be a barracks at a civilian, dorm at a civilian school. But your school time, your fall and your spring are school and academics, and then during the summer you have various training elements. Most are military oriented, but some are pretty unique, like internships. You can do an academic one and go to Europe and study history. You can do a physical one. We had a guy go down to New Zealand and do a rugby thing down there. our military one. You can go to Chilean mountain school. There's all kinds of things you can do. It's pretty cool. I think what I want to point out here, though, is a key thing, which is halfway along that path is what we call A Day. That's affirmation day. That's the first day of your third year here. And you don't actually make your commitment to graduate and then commission and serve in the Army until you start that day. I think what's important about that is I would never recommend anyone come to West Point unless they're, think that they want to serve. But I also think it's good to know that, hey, if I get here and it's not for me, or maybe I change and I decide it's not for me, that up until that day, I can transfer and all my units can go, and I'm good to go. So just want to point that out. But yes, the mission is to graduate leaders for our United States Army. So, as you go along that path, you get your branch. There's 16 branches, all kinds of different things, engineers, aviators, and then you post. That's where you're going to be. Popular ones are Germany, Hawaii, Italy. There's unpopular ones too, of course, but those are the ones all my guys are gunning for. And then you graduate at the end of that 47th month journey, and you commission as an officer, a second lieutenant in the United States Army. One of the most highly respected jobs you can have. It's a guaranteed job right out of college with a good salary, and a lot of responsibility. And that's why you get pushed here. You're going to be in charge of America's sons and daughters. And so that's the journey. The reason I have those pictures of those rugby players there is I think it's important to know that if you are a very good rugby player and you're doing very well as you continue on your path, you can continue that journey, both playing in the Army. Most bases have teams, and there's an all-Army team, that top photo. And if you're really doing well, the fellow at the bottom there is in the red is Jake Lakina. He's our 2018 captain. He's in the WCAP, World Class Athlete Program. And that's where, if you're in the Army and you can be of Olympic caliber for your service, you will actually play that sport. So Jake is probably one of the highest paid rugby players in the country because he's getting paid as a first lieutenant or a captain right now to train at the Olympic Training Center. And hopefully we'll see him in Japan this summer. So that's a bit on the military side. I think on the character side, our last pillar, it's weaved into everything. It's weaved into your academic, your physical, and your military pillars. But what we always hear here and what we work towards is live honorably, lead honorably, and demonstrate excellence in all that you do. And that's the standard we try and uphold across all three of those other pillars. Like I said, it's weaved into all of them. In terms of next steps, I'll share my signature, like I said, and including a questionnaire. If you're interested in knowing more, we encourage you to fill out our questionnaire, and we'll get in touch with you once we know a little bit about you. If you're a junior, you can apply as of January 15th. And we would, and then that second ladder on the top is about the application process itself. But, continuing on that first ladder, we'd encourage you to come to what's called Summer Leadership Experience. That's like a week-long mini West Point over the summer, your junior year, and or to our summer camp. Great for us recruiting, seeing people at our summer camp. Hopefully we can have it this year. We're not confirmed yet. Don't know. Couldn't answer it. And then ultimately, we'd love to have you for a visit fall of your senior year, if it's something you're pretty certain about or pretty strong about. In terms of the application process, if you go up that second window there, or that second staircase, of course, academics are important, but we're pretty unique. We take into account your leadership skills. It's Boy Scouts or captains of sports teams. That's 30% of your grade, your overall sort of application. And you get a CFA. It's a fitness test. That's actually 10% of your application. So we're unique in those aspects. You also have to pass some pretty strict medical requirements. And the last unique thing that's really cool is you get a nomination. So you actually apply for a nomination to your local congressman or woman. So it's a bit of a process, which is why we allow you to start early. But thousands of young men and women do it every year, so it's certainly not impossible.